Beep, 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 beep. Morning all, how are we? Afternoon, evening, wherever the hell it is you are. Become a warrior teacher, buy me a coffee, subscribe. Do the subscribe thing. I'm nearly at 4,000. I'm so excited. Lots going on in there. Loads. Oh, there's loads happening. Loads happening. I had our first warrior teacher meeting with a new cohort. Brilliant stuff. Storming, forming, norming, performing. It starts. It's fantastic. I'm so excited about it. Anyway, enough of that guff. I've got a really interesting article here from the old Telegraphs, right? Okay, which is about a guy called David T.C. Davis, right? Who's a politician. So we're going today to the valleys. We're going to go and speak to the valleys, to the Welsh folk, the good Welsh folk of Wales. Unbelievably beautiful country and one of my favourite places. I worked there for many years, and boy, do they like a party, right? Okay. So, David Davis, and they have the most wonderful turn of phrase, don't they, the Welsh? Whose coat is that jacket? See those two houses? I live in the middle one. I love it. They've got a great turn of phrase. So, fantastic people, very welcoming, very friendly, and also strong people. Okay, so David T.C. Davis is the Secretary of State for Wales. We like him. Right? So I'm going to go through the article and explain to you why we're going to like him, right? So he's one to watch. I tell you now, he's one to watch. Something about him. Ooh, because I'm waiting for me leader, you know? I think you're waiting for a leader as well. Give me a damn leader. Just lead. What he's got to say is very interesting. So I'll put the link to the article downstairs, and as usual in the Dubras. But he's wonderfully affable, and the article is written in such a way that you get this sense of a wonderfully affable person. And it's written by Camilla Turner, who is the chief political correspondent for the Telegraph. He begins, I've just had a meal deal from Tesco's. That put me off a bit. Who does that? Right, says the Secretary of State for Wales with an air of defiance. I was having a protein drink, not a Coke, but sometimes I have a Coke. And you know what? I'm an adult. I can decide whether or not I'm going to have a can of Coke or a fruit shake or a protein drink, or whether I have a packet of crisps or not. God, I like him already. Okay, that's it. We're in. I'm in. Where do I tick? Right? The outburst by David T.C. Davis, they call him that because it avoids confusion with Brexit Secretary David Davis. This outburst about this lunch of his has been prompted by the latest in what he sees as a bizarre series of announcements from the Labour-run Welsh Government, namely a proposal to ban meal deals which come with an unhealthy snack or sugary drink. Now, for those of you that don't know, Wales has gone full-on toxic parent, right? It thinks it's gonna tell everybody what to do and when to do it. It's the left again, isn't it? It's the lunatic left being toxically parental. Awful, dreadful, smothering and, punishing for stuff that they think you shouldn't do. As it happens, the Conservative MP for Monmouth in South Wales believes his lunch, which consisted of a chicken and bacon stuffing sandwich, a bag of Thai sweet chicken McCoy's crisp, really? Right, and a protein drink was reasonably healthy, but he adds, I don't care whether it was healthy or not. I don't think it's up to the government to tell me. It's absolutely none of their business. Oh, I like him, and I like him lots, and I'm hoping we're seeing more of these people coming forward that is going to tell the government to buzz off and mind its own business and leave adults alone. These interfering, wibbling, nannying, toxically parental monsters, I call them. The Welsh Government recently announced a crackdown on obesity. For some reason, I get a vision in my head of fat people being whipped and forced to eat lettuce. That's good! Beat them! Eat that lettuce, right? It's not a nice thing, because I'm a fat bloke, right? So that's what they've done, right? And that crackdown on obesity with a series of proposals banning meal deal snacks which are high in fat, sugar or salt, as well as restricting other special offers on similar items, such as buy one, get one free promotions. While the legislation is aimed at encouraging healthier food options, the Welsh Retail Consortium warned it could reduce choice and push up prices at a time when household finances are already under pressure, as if the left would care about that. God, remember a time when they did? Just seems so unreal, doesn't it? Man, they've lost it, they've gone. According to Davis, the Welsh Government's proposal on meal deals is just one in a long time of ludicrous policies they have championed in recent months. Speaking from his office on Whitehall, where he has a Welsh dragon model proudly on display on his mantelpiece, along with a large Welsh flag, Davis can barely contain his frustration at what he sees as the arrogance of Labour leader Mark Drayford's party. And they are cuckoo. They're completely cuckoo. They have been in power for so long, and they feel they are going to be there forever, he said. They basically feel that they can pretty much do as they please. That's absolutely true. I haven't met a Welsh person that don't moan about him. Vote Tory then. Get him out. He believes that Wales, which has been run by a Labour administration for almost a quarter of a century, ever since its first devolved National Assembly election in 1997, the devolution of Wales and giving it its National Assembly, has essentially become a one-party state. You bet. It definitely got worse, he says. I couldn't imagine the Labour Party wanting to do this when I was in the Senate. Perhaps they don't feel the pressure to listen to what people are saying day to day. They have a tendency to think it's Wales, we're Labour, and we're always going to win. So, people of Wales, vote Tory. I know it's tough. I've said this to a lot of people, but that may be what you'll have to do. Right, so, as part of their extensive health drive, it just gets worse. Another Welsh Government proposal could see anyone under 16 barred from drinking tea and coffee. Just fuck. How are they going to do that? We're going to have tea and coffee monitors. These people are insane. And they are consulting on measures that could end the sale of high caffeine and energy drinks to children. I think it's way over the top, Davis says. I've got teenage children. I simply say as a parent, I would be happy for my child to be sat in the local coffee shop drinking coffee than sitting anywhere elsewhere drinking other things. There are plenty of worse things that they could be doing. He's interesting, isn't he? So I think we have to watch Davis. I think he's an interesting man. Apparently he was born in Newport. He's an ex-lorry driver. He jokes that he is the cabinet's first ex-lorry driver. He's married to a Hungarian woman called Alice, and they have 3 teenage children. A keen amateur boxer, he joined the Territorial Army after leaving school and served for 18 months as a gunner with the 104 Air Defence Regiment at Raglan Barracks in Newport. Isn't he interesting? He's an interesting chap, right? So I think he's someone to watch. And so I'm going to be watching what he's up to with interest. But what also is important here is that he's not a fan of the LGBTQ plus I hands and knees and bumps of daisy people, right? He's not a fan of them, like me, right? No, okay. At the start of the year, here it comes, folks. At the start of this year, the UK government blocked legislation put forward by the Scottish government that would allow people as young as 16 to change their legal gender simply by signing a declaration. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said the draft law would conflict with equality protections applying across Great Britain and undermine women's rights. Within weeks of the bill's passing in Holyrood, Nicola Sturgeon, and I understand they've just seized her mobile home. Digging holes in the garden, stealing mobile homes. This isn't going to end well, is it? Oh, sorry, Sturgeon. Sturgeon! Within weeks of the bill passing, Nicola Sturgeon announced that she would resign as First Minister, admitting that she had become a polarising figure. Just glorious. But this did not stop Drakeford, who's the one in Wales, from attempting to introduce similar laws in Wales. The devolved administration unveiled a new LGBTQ plus hands and knees and bumps daisy action plan in February. There are aims to allow people to self-identify their gender, blah, 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 blah. You know, the usual stuff. Yeah. And then Davis says, we like this guy, we're going to have to watch him, right? He's going to be good. I mean, at what point did it suddenly become a good idea? And how many people, if we knocked on doors in Wales, would think that it was a good idea to allow a 16-year-old to legally change gender or start taking puberty blockers and then have physical surgery? He also mentions at this stage, to give you an idea of the mentality that the Senedd has started, that the Senedd in Wales, which is like, you know, the governing body, has started offering tampons in the men's lavatories in an apparent attempt to help transgender civil servants. The tampons introduced for all politicians and staff in Wales Legislative Centre in Cardiff are accompanied by a sign saying that these products are provided free of charge for all those that need them, following a negotiation on your behalf by the Senedd Commission trade union side. Lunatic lefties again, right? The Senedd is also home to gender-neutral lavatories. It's all the usual rubbish, right, that we need to get put straight. And I think that when eventually Starmer does, you know, pass that amendment to the Equality Act, we can put this straight in one go if he wants to with that particular issue. And the problems do not end with tampons. In toilets, I've already covered the Welsh situation regarding PSHE. And it's still as bad as it ever was. Last month it emerged that a sex education resource promoted by the Welsh Government for use in schools had recommended playing a game about mixed berry muffins to teach children as young as 7. about gender fluidity. I can't. Mixed berry muffins. The 170-page pamphlet also claims that biological sex is not just constrained to male and female, and lectures teachers on how some want to change their gender pronouns or want to be agender. It has been described as highly inappropriate, said Mark, highly inappropriate, with critics claiming Mark Drayford is determined to push gender ideology, which he is. The pamphlet was produced by Cardiff University. You know, we know, folks. Go and have a look. It's a great article. But we know the enemies now. We know where they are. They're sitting in the universities. They're sitting on the councils, right? They're sitting. They've managed to centre power, and they've managed to infiltrate just about everything. We know where they are. All right, the receipts are in. Only primary legislation can help us on that front. In terms of helping other people understand about this, we'll have to do that. We've got to do it. We have to have the conversations. But other than that, I'm liking him. We're liking him. David T.C. Davis, we like you. So let's keep an eye on him and see where he goes. I think he's going to be a star of the future in the Tory party along with Kemi Badenoch. So I'll see you good folk later. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.